Hi everybody, welcome back to Chapter 10. Today we're going to talk about using models to help us multiply fractions and whole numbers together. In a previous lesson, we learned how to multiply whole numbers with unit fractions. Remember, a unit fraction is a fraction in which the numerator is 1. It's one part of the whole thing. My first example, I have unit fractions. You'll notice that I have 5 circles, and 1/4 of each circle is shaded in. So, just as we did yesterday, and as a quick reminder, multiplication, whether it's with whole numbers or fractions, is simply repeated addition. So in this case, I have 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. Now, I could surely just add those together, but a quicker way to do this would be to use multiplication. So what I have here is 5 different groups. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, and Group 5. I have 5 groups. And in each group, I have 1/4 shaded in. So what I can do, instead of the repeated addition of 1/4, 1/4, and so on, I have my 5 groups times 1/4. And now what does that equal? Well, the common theme is to think numerator times the 5 and denominator times the 5, but that's not what we do. What we do is we multiply our whole number with our numerator. So in this case, 5 times 1 is 5, and I keep my denominator the same. The reason I do that is because I did not change the way each model was broken up. They're still broken into fourths. I did not change them into what commonly could happen would be 20ths. They're still broken into fourths. So what I do is I take my whole number, multiply it with my numerator to get a new numerator, and I keep my denominator the same because I did not change the way my models are broken up. They're still broken into fourths. So I had 5 groups times 1/4 in each group, and my new fraction is 5/4. I can't leave it as 5/4. So I would like to change that into a mixed number. So what I can do is some very quick division. I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 4 go into 5? And 4 goes into 5 one time. Is 4. Do my subtraction. 5 minus 4 is 1. And remember, to get my mixed number, I take my remainder and put it over my divisor. So my mixed number would be 1 whole and 1/4. Easy enough. Let's try a second one here. I have 3 days of the week. Each day of the week, I ran 3/10 of a mile. So again, I could repeatedly add 3/10, 3/10, and 3/10. For many of us, that's not going to be too difficult. However, when we get into longer problems, we could run into a bit of an issue with all the adding. So I am repeatedly adding the same fraction. So let me do some multiplication instead. I have 3 days, 1, 2, 3. Each day I ran 3/10 of a mile. So I'm going to do 3 times 3/10. Again, we multiply our numerator with our whole number. So 3 wholes times 3 would be 9. And my denominator stays the same. It stays as a 10. So in this case, throughout the course of these 3 days, I ran 9/10 of a mile. I don't need to do anything as far as mixed numbers because this is a proper fraction. My numerator is smaller than my denominator. My third example, on the right-hand side, I have 3/12. 3/12 5 times. Now again, I could add and add and add. But what I'm going to do here, I have 5 groups 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each group has 3/12 in it. So I'm going to multiply by 3/12. My whole number times my numerator, 5 times 3 equals 15. My denominator stays as a 12. I have an improper fraction, so I have to do a little bit of division to figure out how to make it a mixed number. So I put my 15 as my dividend, my 12 as my divisor outside, and then I go through my regular division process. 12 goes into 15 one time. 1 times 12 is 12. Do my subtraction. I'm left with 3. 3 is my remainder, so I'm going to bring it up and put it up top. I'm then going to take my divisor and turn that into my denominator. So my mixed number would be 1 and 3/12. All I did here was take my 5 groups, and because I was repeatedly adding the same number, I was able to multiply them with the whole number, 5 times 3/12, to get 15/12, which is an improper fraction, which through dividing, I was able to change to a mixed number. Finally, the last one, I chose to do a bit of a word problem. It says I fill a measuring cup with 3/5 of a cup of water 5 times for a recipe. How much water did I use? So I did it 5 times. Each time had 3/5 of a cup of water. And again, same process, my whole number times my numerator. 5 times 3 equals 15. Denominator stays the same as a 5. Again, an improper fraction. So what I'm going to do is put my numerator as my dividend. My denominator becomes my divisor, and I'm going to do some simple division. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15, and I'm left with no remainder. So what this means is that I used 3 full cups of water for my recipe. I hope this helps you a little bit with understanding how to use models to do multiplying fractions with whole numbers. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you soon.